It's the fight game. He's Icewater, I'm Puma. And let's start off with the heavyweight match last weekend or last Friday with Anthony Joshua against Francis Ngannou. And it was 2 rounds. It looked like light work for Anthony Joshua. I saw the picture when I came home. I was out and I came home and I saw pictures that the fight was on and already happened. And I sent you the picture and I was like, well, damn. I didn't expect that to happen that quick. What's your thoughts on the fight, man?
Great solid outing for Anthony Joshua, right? We've been talking about him getting his mojo back and where he is, and he seems very comfortable. And what can you say about the opponent? Opponent comes in, did what he thought he could do. Very strong guy, hell of an athlete, and the way that he gave Tyson Fury the business by knocking him down, that's great. But I think you're seeing now that there's a difference between skill sets. This is boxing. You get a guy that's really a boxer, and that's why I said before, everybody clown Tyson Fury for not being in shape, coming in correct. I think that when you saw what Anthony Joshua did, when you come correct and you're ready to do that, somebody trying to come from a different place with different skills, it's not going to be that easy. Anybody can get a one-time knockout or a punch, but for the most part, when it comes down to the real skill set and going deeper into the waters of real boxing, and I think that's what it is. And he had a nice little run. It's time to go back to the MMA though. Time to get out of there because now we're starting to get into more entertainment than we are about taking the serious and the serious taking boxing serious as a lot of fans do. And it's more to me, it's more like an exhibition. So you had a nice little run, probably made some nice coin.
Yeah, about
Time
20
to move
million.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is fine. Hey, I ain't mad at the hustle. Get your money.
Much more than he would have made in the UFC.
Oh,
Way
sure.
much more. Yeah.
Sure. Get your money. I ain't mad at the hustle. But it's time to get out the way and let the real boxers fight one another.
Yeah, one of the things I like with Ngannou, he said after the fight, it was some funny things. He was like, did you feel the punch? He's like, no, that's why they call it a knockout. I didn't even feel it. And he said, hey, I'm not done with boxing. I'm going back to MMA. That's what we talked about last week. That he had some deals set up, and he's going back to MMA. But he said, I'm not through with boxing. I still want to pursue this. I still want to get in the game. And I think he sees that this is a way to make a lot of money and instead of just killing yourself in MMA with the UFC, because the UFC is not going to pay certain fighters a lot of money. So I look forward to seeing him. He's 0-2 at this particular point. I think he's 1-1. I will say that until the world blow up. But yeah, I think he needs to hone his skills. If he wants to come back and box, I would look forward to seeing him. He's a big, strong guy. You could just see the skill set, like you said earlier, that it just wasn't there, and Joshua just made easy work of him. What does Anthony Joshua do now? Because he already said, "Hey, I'll take the winner of Usyk Tyson Fury." I don't think he wants any parts of Usyk, and he's banking that Tyson Fury can put the little man down. So, what do you what do you think about his declaration? Like, hey, I want to be the best in the world. I want to be that man again, and I'll take on the winner of this particular fight.
Yeah, there could be some other options out there, but when you think about what he just did and where he's at right now, I think the only thing that makes sense for money and also for prestige is to fight the winner of Tyson Fury, right, and Usyk, because there's so many belts on the line. Let's say, for instance, he fights the winner of that and he wins, and that's the one thing that is missing from Anthony Joshua's. Even though he was a champion before, right? The one thing is missing for him is to getting true respect that he wanted to earn in America. It was always over there. I mean, a champion is a champion, no matter where he's from, or we just didn't see him. But if he really wants to receive all of the glory and the accolades, you got to come over here and you got to be over here and you got to win over here. And you win over here and you take those belts from whomever. There's nobody to say that he's not probably one of the best to ever do it and during his time. So yeah, I think it would be foolish to take any more tune-up fights or anybody else. These guys are going to fight. The only problem with it is Usyk and Fury are going to fight, and more likely there's probably going to be a rematch.
Hmm.
So you're another year and a half out from ever getting that fight, maybe even two. So what do you do in the interim?
So
You damn sure don't want to see Deontay Wilder. I just don't think you
that's
want to.
another one too. And if Wilder kind of steps up and kind of trains and really kind of gets in shape, I'm thinking about the next fight we're going to talk about, the Zhang and the Parker fight. Parker is a champion too. Would it be a fight where Anthony Joshua will fight Parker in the meantime while waiting for that rematch to end, and then we have the big fight after that?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Parker had a hell of a bout. Zhang is a tough guy, 40 years old, big, strong, mean guy. Looked like the old George Foreman. That one punch, whoo, like that kind of thing. That much punishment. But Joseph Parker was able to withstand two major blows when he got knocked down twice, legitimate knockdown. Okay, Joseph Parker got up, got himself together, got his faculties back in order, and he won the fight. Says a lot about him. I've that fight showed me a lot. And now I'm starting to see more of Joseph Parker. I'm starting to see more of a good, solid skill set and somebody that's become more of a manager. So yeah, I mean that would be a great fight. But if I am, if I'm Anthony Joshua, I'm not taking any chances. I mean Joseph Parker, yeah, but Joseph Parker's never that fight's never going to give you the prestige you're looking for compared to if you fight the winner of the big fight.
And I believe they're both from the UK, right?
Yeah.
So it'll probably be big over there.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how big.
But do you take that risk though?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, especially now, if you want to do it afterwards, it's clear sailing. You can get in shape, get yourself together. You can walk around as champion for a while and get a lot of love, and then just wait. And then too, you know how that works with the deal. Maybe you go, whoever wins this, they want a rematch. But hey, tell you what, let's negotiate a deal. Let me step in front and take this fight, and then guarantee the next guy the fight opportunity to fight the winner afterwards.
Sure. So we're looking at Canelo fighting on Cinco de Mayo weekend. And what do you think about this fight? It sounds like we always talk about Canelo taking the page out of Floyd Mayweather's book on how to keep the belt and fight guys that, not really up to his caliber. But what do you think about that? That's the way I see this particular fight. I think he's a tough kid, his opponent, but I don't see him winning this particular fight.
Well, it's gonna be tough because a lot of people may not know about Jamie, right?
Right.
Jamie is 43-0,
Mhm.
34 knockouts, I think, and he's set as far as his record is concerned and who he's as far as his division. But I think the one you mentioned about picking and choosing, I think Canelo knows this might be another guy that, sooner or later I can walk down and I can get him.
Right.
Because he may have not most importantly is the fact that perhaps the opponent has not been on that big stage before.
Right.
And even though people may go, oh, he's 43-0, he should know what's going on, he's been in the ring before. Until you get on that major stage with all of the eyes on you and focused on you during fight week between Cinco de Mayo weekend, everybody's going to be watching just because it's Canelo. Everybody's going to be watching. That's a lot of pressure.
And the skill set of Canelo too.
Yeah. Well, we know what's going to happen. He's going to, wait, and normally just walk him down, and he's going to try to knock the hell out of him, knock him down. So that's what he does. So there's so many other fights that are much bigger than that for Canelo, but this is what he's choosing. What I find ironic is the media types ran to destroy and say, "Oh, he's leaving the PBC. He got 3 fight deals. He's running over here doing this and that." And then all of a sudden, when you see him, you're like, "Well, why is PBC's name still on it?" Because Canelo knows how they know how to run the business and get that money. So you talked about over with Eddie Hearn and those guys like that, but PBC has the money, they have the fighters, and they have the wherewithal to get that thing done. They do a class thing. Love or hate Al Heyman, you gotta give him his just due for what it is. But I find that ironic. Nobody's talking about that now that the PBC is, kind of putting this on again.
Right. There's some other fights that One that we're going to talk about a little later with Haney and our boy Adrian Bronner. We're going to talk a little bit about that because we got to get to the Haney Garcia situation. A lot of bizarre things coming from Garcia side, and people saying, "Hey, maybe he's not in a position right now to fight. Maybe there's somebody else that can come in and fight." But what's happening from your end with Ryan Garcia? Because it sounds like there's some strange things. There's some industry things that I don't understand. I don't want to talk about. I don't want them after me. But it seemed like this fight is still on. But a lot of folks are saying maybe this guy should back out. Maybe he's trying to get more attention. I don't know what's really going on and whether the fight will even happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's no guarantee that it's going to happen because there's so many weird things going on, right? From the standpoint of thinking about the mental state of Brian Garcia. When he comes out in the middle, he says, yeah, I drink, I smoke, I get high, but I can fight. I mean, what kind of structure is that? When's the last time you got high? When, those things of that nature. And you're not taking boxing seriously, particularly against a guy like, against Devin Haney. What are you going to do? And Devin Haney is all about business, you know, trying to make his thing, he's making it happen for himself. And he's going to be no nonsense coming in that ring. So I don't know if this is a ploy to try to get Devin Haney off his game, but it does not have a good look for Ryan Garcia at all. It does not. It almost seems as if he doesn't want to be connected to it, right? It just doesn't seem that way. And he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna knock you out." But if you're not training, you're doing stuff outside the ring, you're not taking it serious. How serious can your opponent take you, and how serious can the fight fans take you?
Yeah, it may be out for him. In the meanwhile, time, Devin Haney's father was on a live or talking on the stream, and then our boy Adrian Bronner was like, "Hey, if this fight doesn't happen, let me get in there with your boy." And it was really intense. And so I wouldn't mind seeing this fight. I always like to see Adrian Bronner. I always like the press conferences and the post fight interviews, things of that sort. He's always entertaining. But what do you think about this possible fight if Ryan Garcia is not ready to go?
I tell you what, I love Adrian Broner because he's from Ohio, right? I think Adrian Broner, and I'll say this, some people may not know this. I had a chance to really meet Adrian Broner and talk to him and see. To me, it's all an act. He plays it well. He plays crazy very well. And I'm not trying to, destroy his game. People that don't know, he plays crazy very well. It will be entertaining all the way up to the fight. He's going to say some outlandish things. He's going to do some things, and people are going to either lose their mind or go, "I can't stop watching this." It's like a train wreck. Some people watch just they want to see a bad act. They see a bad accident, they just keep looking at it. They can't turn their head. Why are you looking at that? They keep looking and focusing, and focus. That's who Adrian Broner is. But as far as the ring is concerned, I think he's had his day. I don't know. I just don't trust him in the ring anymore. As much as I love him, I know what he's capable of. I don't trust him in the ring because for the last 3 or 4 times he's been in the ring, I've been wanting for him to throw his hands. When he let his hands go and fight, not too many people are that sharp. But what I see him is doing, he will have spots. He'll do something. He's like, oh, Adrian. And then he go back to doing the same thing, like he's just standing there and moving around and banging around with the person, which to me is not uh, visually pleasing.
Right.
And which Haney just may try to clown him as well as a way to just keep it going. Of course, his dad, who is a clown at times, or seems to be a clown, he's going to pump it up because he wants to just be whatever, be in front of the camera and be taken seriously from that standpoint. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to see that fight. I love the theatrics up to it, but I'm not sure if Adrian is still capable of really being very competitive in the ring anymore.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting, man, to see how this whole thing plays out. Whether Ryan Garcia comes to the senses and they go on with this fight, which I still think it makes sense, but we'll see. Crawford, Eubanks Jr. just been confirmed, and they're fighting at 160. And my thoughts on this is that I think Terrence Crawford is testing out the waters at a heavier weight to get to that weight of 168, or having Carnelo come down 8 pounds to fight in this super fight. I think I would love to see Crawford and Alvarez fight, but I just see him taking this fight, even though I think we talked earlier. He said this may be a step backwards, but I think he's just, to me, testing the waters out because there are no fights that people want to kind of step up and fight him with, and testing the waters out with Eubanks Jr. to see if I can fight at this weight and feel comfortable at this weight, and maybe I want to go up, or maybe I want to have folks come down to fight me at 160.
No, I agree with you. I'm not sure if the fight itself is really uh, gets me excited, right? I'm not sure if it does, but it will put Crawford in a very interesting position. And what I say by that is because if you fight at 160, and let's say he dominates that fight, knocks Eubanks out, right? Now you open the door for many opportunities. The one that everybody wants, Canelo 168, some catch weight 165, 164, whatever, right? That's a possibility. Then you got Big Charlo, Jamal Charlo at 160, right? Then you can go back down to 154, Little Charlo. You got Tim Zoo at 154, 160 in between. Benavidez. And everybody talking about Benavidez. You literally are at three different weight classes. And if you ever wanted to drop back down to 147, which I don't think you will, four separate weight classes that you could be ready for. That's how you make money. And where that works too, if he was to stay with PBC or still connect with them, they had the fighters. So now you're opening the door for four weight classes of opportunities. The Danny Garcias of the world, whoever it may be, four weight classes, legitimately three, 160, 147, 154. Anybody take your pick. If he does that, even if he doesn't fight Canelo, there's a lot of opportunities for him to fight anybody that wants to before he calls it a game, calls it a day. That I think somebody is finally in his ear in the background saying, "That's how you make money." And
Yeah.
it might be some folks at PBC because before he was not making money. He was doing okay. He was out there, but you want some real money? I mean, like Errol Spence. Errol Spence didn't have to take that fight. He gave you the fight. He gave you an opportunity. The fighters with the money, the real money fighters or the people of stature that he's looking for are in PBC. So yeah, I agree with you. Step up, fight Eubanks, see what happens. You have now opened the door to at least three, maybe four weight classes against top-notch talent, and you're gonna make a lot of money, a lot of eyes on you, and then that's gonna do nothing but add to your legacy, whoever you choose to get into the ring with. So I think he must have some new management because that's kind of tricky, but it's smart at the same time.
Yeah, instead of waiting for folks in his weight class, just go up and get the best fight and get that money. I agree with it. I'm here for it. Looking forward to that fight. Now let's talk UFC 299 last weekend. Sean O'Malley really made easy work of Marlon Vera. Just too fast, just too skilled in a 5-round decision. It wasn't fought on the ground. There was no grappling. There was no ground game. It was just straight up. It almost looked like a bare knuckle fight actually, and there were kicks and knees and everything. I have to give it to Vera. He's a tough son of a gun, tough son of a gun because he was getting hit some shots, and he's still holding that reputation that he doesn't get knocked out or knocked down. There was another fight with Dustin Poirier. He beat the champion, the French champion, and in the first round he was on the ground. The champion was really kind of beating him grappling. But as soon as they got to throwing those hands or throwing those things, Dustin Poirier just showed supreme mastery, and the Frenchman just couldn't keep up. You also had Kevin Holland, who lost against the Michael Page, who was making his debut. Michael Page is 22-2 in the welterweight division, and I thought that Page would get knocked down or hit real hard because he doesn't fight with his hands up. He kind of does a taekwondo style, just bouncing around, kicking, throwing hands every now and then. But it really frustrated Kevin Holland to the point where he just couldn't do anything with it. Even mocked him a little bit, like you're just jumping around and you're not fighting. But it just, you could see that Kevin Holland was frustrated. And then Gilbert Burns, who dropped one against Jack Della Maddalena. And it was just, I didn't expect Burns to come out with a fight like that and kind of not really be able to show his skills, and he just got knocked out TKO in the third round. It was a decent night. To me, it wasn't worth the pay-per-view dollars, but it was a decent night where you had some of the incumbent champions kind of holding their own, and then folks getting upset. One of the things about UFC, and I'll give it to you, is that any given round, you can get snuck with a punch or a kick or whatever, and you could just be out and just lose your title. So it's always kind of you're on the edge of your seat watching UFC and MMA, and I'm looking forward to some bigger matches coming up pretty soon.
No doubt, no doubt. And I think that's what it is. Like I said, I think the issue for a lot of the guys in MMA is the factor that uh, they want the MMA wants you to fight so quick, or UFC wants to fight so many times in a calendar year that you kind of almost run out of the opponents, right? So it's not like it is like in boxing. You have so many people always up and coming or whatever, but the way that they do the pay-per-views and they want your guys out there all the time, I think sometimes they get burned out and then they may not, play. They may not perform as best as possible, and then they have to take a break and come back. And that's what I think you're seeing with Israel right now. I think it's like, you know what? I just need to kind of get that hunger and that mojo back before I jump back in the ring because that could be a lot. It can be a lot on your body and trying to win in a nice fashion can be very difficult if you're fighting a number of guys that you're fighting all the time.
Yeah. One more fight I had to mention. I failed to mention the bantamweight. Peter Yan won in a 3-round decision against Song Yong Dong. And those guys were battling, but you could just see the mastery of Yan just overpowering and taking over that fight. The bantamweights, they throw those hands and they make a good fight. I'm not going to talk about the preliminary bouts, but there were some really good preliminary bouts. I hope to see them in on the main card pretty soon, but we're running out of time. Any other thoughts or stories about the fight game, man?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna talk about it, but that event that's supposed to be coming up. I will say a great marketer, one person is, and I want to know how much money is involved to have one of the great heavyweights of all time fight on the card for entertainment purposes.
I don't know how much money is involved, but I said this earlier to you and our guy Black Door. I have a subscription to Netflix. I'm not watching this. This is the biggest joke that I've heard in a long time. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be a part of it. Sports is becoming more and more entertainment, and I don't want to be entertained. I want to see the best person win. And then I'm seeing some of the rules. People are talking about some of the rules that they're fighting against. With the headgear and my brother got to be there and all this other stuff. And it's like this is a joke. This is a joke. Maybe Mike Tyson needs the money. Maybe he needs the notoriety. Maybe they're doing this for other reasons other than kind of showcasing it in the exhibition of this particular fight. But I just can't be a part of it. I don't. I wasn't gonna bring it up on this show, and because it's not the fight game to me, it's pure entertainment. It's pure like comedy to me actually.
No, I agree with you 100%. And that's what I tried to say a long time ago. Remember, you kind of laughed about
Yeah,
it.
I know. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. You told me this was coming, and now, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the hustle was the hustle. That's how you want to make it. If people want to watch it for whatever reason, but to really think legitimately, to even call it boxing,
Yeah.
it's entertainment. That's the
So,
problem I've always had with it. It's not. And if you can say what you want to about Mr. Paul, and he's a great marketer, but how can you take that dude seriously?
yeah.
How
Yeah.
can you really take it seriously? Now you fighting Mike Tyson, you got all these bizarre, like I said, hey, you like it, I love it, but it's entertainment, it's not boxing. And to act like it is boxing is wrong. And since you're gonna do it, there's gonna be a lot of probably a lot of weed or a lot of stuff going on in there.
Advertising. Yeah.
And so you might as well bring Snoop back and let Snoop that will bring you in. Let Snoop perform and do some commentary because you like Snoop.
Don't tempt me with Snoop, man. Please
Yeah,
don't.
we're gonna bring Snoop back. And look, that way we know I know you're gonna tune in. We're gonna Snoop and let him drop about a little melody of the songs at halftime, right? And then you talk about smoking a little bit, and then hey, you back in.
So for me, and you always listen to boxing purists and all that stuff, and it's almost like I'm becoming a boxing purist at this particular time. This is not something I want to watch. I don't even want to entertain. I can't tell you how many videos I've kind of skipped through in social media. Like I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to hear people's comments on it and all that other stuff. But I did come across some of the rules that were set in place. I'm like, this is a joke, and it's now I consider myself a boxing purist. This is not something I want to watch or am slightly entertained at all with this. I don't want to see it. I don't care. I don't even know the date is coming on, but I know if I happen to be on Netflix, I'm not watching it. I'm just not watching. I'm not even interested, not even in the least interested in seeing this clown show. And God forbid Tyson goes down with a phantom punch or something like this. And if Tyson takes money to go down, I'm like, oh, if I hear the results of that, I don't know. I may not be right ever again, man. I may not, because it's just it's like Bizarro world, man. It's just I don't want to be a part of that world. I don't know.
What happened to the other guy that was telling me how great this was and
No, no,
it was
no. That was
box
not with boxers. That was with like former basketball players and people who are not in boxing. That's entertaining. Not bringing in one of the greatest heavyweights. We did a show on the top 10 heavyweights, and Mike Tyson showed up on some of my lists because he's that great of a fighter. And I don't like to see him like this. I don't like to see boxers kind of taking it. I didn't like it when Floyd does it, a lot of times. I don't like it. It's just, fighting people that just didn't earn the right just to be out there. And if you want to make money, fine. I don't have to entertain it.
Well, Floyd, y'all agree with that, and I can see that. But Floyd made one distinction, and you say what you want to about him fighting and whatever. The one thing he said when he decided to move forward and doing these type of exhibitions is, "I am an entertainer." He didn't say I'm a boxer anymore. So if you come looking for boxing, you never know what you're gonna see. I am an entertainer. They pay him a lot of money to do what he's doing, and he'll do it. So again, he said he's an entertainer. So that's what I think people get confused. But he clearly said, "I'm not a boxer anymore. I am an entertainer."
All right. He's Icewater. I'm Puma. And this is the fight game. The fight game. The fight game.